Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Brian Schumacher here tonight at Carl Junction Stadium, ready to bring you the action between the Carl Junction Bulldogs and the New Heights Christian Cougars. We're looking forward to a good match tonight. New Heights is missing two key starters, Michael Perigin, the leading scorer for the Cougars, and Max Enretter, a key defensive player for the Cougars, are off at a cross-country meet today. So the Cougars will have to fill those voids. Carl Junction is coming off their first loss of the season, 9-1 on the season so far. Have set the mark, I believe, best record in the last 15 years to start the season for the Bulldogs. Suffered a loss on Tuesday to Logan Rogersville in a 2-1 defeat. Cougars have also played Logan Rogersville. Cougars went down 4-0 in that match. Another similar opponent for the Bulldogs and the Cougars was Webb City. Webb City defeated the Cougars on the first game of the season for both squads 3-0, and CJ actually beat Webb in a penalty kick shootout in CJ's first game of the year. So looking forward to a nice matchup tonight. CJ has a little more depth than the Cougars, so it'll be interesting to see how the Cougars can manage controlling the clock. We have some keys for the game. Let's take a look at those. Really, in order for the Cougars to stay in this game, they need to get a early goal, because if they have to chase the game, it's going to be hard to come back because of the Bulldogs' depth. So an early goal, allowing them to slow down play and control the clock will be important for the Cougars. Another key is to deny Gavin Kaugerspace the all-conference center mid for the Bulldogs. A key factor for how they generate their offense through the middle of the field. Gavin Kauger can really generate some attacking opportunities for the Bulldogs in the midfield. So the Cougars are going to really have to key on Kauger to keep him away from touches in open space. Another key is to win the first touch on goal kicks. So as this ball gets played in the middle of the field, the Cougars really have to work hard to win that first touch to prevent the Bulldogs from turning it into a transition opportunity. And last key for the Cougars tonight is to have possession without running. So the Cougars need to be able to control the midfield in possession without having it turn into a sprint attack. And the Cougars like to play the long ball, but with a lack of depth tonight, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient to take care of their opportunities and keep the ball in possession a little longer than maybe they traditionally do. All right, the Cougars have done their pregame announcements. They're getting ready to announce the Bulldogs. We'll go down to the field to take a look at the Bulldogs pregame. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Christian Academy.
New Heights, same biblical focus. New Heights, same academic drive.
We will continue to shape articulate, confident Christians ready to step into the world with a strong moral compass, secure in themselves and their beliefs.
Taking Christian education to new heights.
Taking a look at the starting lineup for the Cougars tonight. Hudson Clevenger, Ben Schumacher, Bennett Thomas in the midfield. Owen Horton making the start again tonight for the Cougars. Playing the left wing. Kason Hamlin on the right wing. Liam Nelson up top. Lucas Nangle, Gavin Dole, Nixon Meningus, Brandon Schumacher across the back, and Rush Stewart in the goal for the Cougars. 40 minutes on the clock. We are about ready to go. We do have a three-man crew tonight for this matchup. Varsity game first tonight, starting at 5, just running a few minutes late. Bulldogs have the kickoff for the first half. Gavin Cowger there on the ball. Number 15, Victor Martinez here on the right wing. And we're underway. Played back into the near side. Schumacher challenges with Martinez. Brandon Schumacher is able to win the challenge. Stolen away. And Gavin Cowger kicks it out of play. Be a throw in for the Cougars on the near side. Bennett Thomas there to take the throw. Gives it to Hudson Clevenger. Clevenger sends it over the top. Landalt there for the Bulldogs. Sends it back into the middle. Clevenger back to the ball, carrying it down the line. Dylan McGuire looks to play it back. Landalt sends it back into the middle. First touch by Nolan Kauk. Into the middle. Cowger heads it down. Kauk on the ball, sends it over the top, all the way into the box, and Stewart's there to gather it. Stewart out to Clevenger in the middle of the field. Clevenger goes down. Trosper steals. Schumacher deflects. Martinez back into the middle for Kauk. Kauk tries to play it through to Cowger on the run, but got deflected away. And Stewart mishandles the ball, is able to get it back into the box. Not sure exactly what happened there. Stewart punts it back into the middle of the field. Headed down by Trosper. Clevenger there tries to win it. Gets through Kauk. Trosper comes back into steal. To Cowger. Cowger on the turn. Finds Shea on the shot, and good save by Stewart. I'm sorry, that's Shea Perkins. Shea Perkins leading scorer for the Bulldogs this season. Good opportunity for the Bulldogs early, as you see they're setting that ball in on the false 9 setup by Cowger and being able to play into the seam. The Cougars defense is going to have to tuck in a little tighter in man mark rather than playing a zonal back line. Foul called on that last play will be a free kick for the Cougars. Clevenger there to take the kick. Cougars defensive line pushing all the way up to midfield. Clevenger sends the high ball into the top of the box. Landau heads it away to the far side. Perkins chases to it. It's able to keep it in. Sends it over the top with his left. Martinez will chase as Dole's there. Dole heads it back to Stewart in the box. And a good play by Dole to allow Stewart to be able to pick that up. Stewart top swinging ball back into the middle. Clevenger gets the first touch. Can't control it. Perkins steals. Sends it over the top. Brandon Schumacher heads it back in Thomas checks back. Battle for the ball with Trosper and Schumacher. Trosper was able to recover it. Back to McGuire on the back line. Martinez plays it through. And we'll roll into the box. Stewart comes over to grab it in the corner. Stewart top spinning ball again into the middle. Clevenger tries to settle. Nobody there to support. And Perkins steals. Over to Helton. Cleared away by Clevenger. Back to Thomas. Leaves it for Schumacher. Schumacher gets challenged from behind and loses the ball. McGuire's there. Thomas comes back and steals. Deflected away and throw in for the Cougars. Thomas over to take the throw. Actually tosses it down for Clevenger. Clevenger taking his time. Cougars are going to try to shorten the game. Ball played in. Hamlin there tries to win the battle. Teeter gets to it, plays it to the far side. Ruben Brake plays it high into the air for Nelson. Nelson fighting the battle with Helton. Nelson gets a touch. It is cleared over to the near side. And out of play, it will be a throw in for the Bulldogs. Dylan McGuire over to take the throw. McGuire tried to take a little too much space, and they'll bring him back. He takes the throw down the line to Martinez. In the middle for Cow. Clevenger comes in and steals. Clevenger, good feet, plays it through. And Landahl plays it back into the middle for Helton. Helton, good settle in the middle of the field, has some room in front. Meningus steps up. Helton plays it through to Martinez into the corner. And that's going to go out the end line. It will be a goal kick for the Cougars. So the key on this goal kick, the Cougars have done a nice job of getting the first touch. Clevenger's got the first touch on I think 3 of the last goal kicks, or on the punts, I guess is what they actually were, but on this ball from the goalie up. But we don't have any support to receive the pass after Clevenger's making the touch. See if we can do a little better this time. This time the Bulldogs make the first touch. Trosper back to McGuire. Lazy pass as Nelson tries to get in to steal it. Nelson may be hurt. Thomas comes back, deflects and steals, gives it to Clevenger. Clevenger gets challenged by Martinez. He's able to win it. Martinez plays it through. Perkins on the run. Dangerous ball. Goes all the way through. And Stewart, for some reason, tries to keep that in and loses it out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. I think he just lost where he was on the field. All right, Bulldogs take the first corner of the night. Gavin Cowger over to take the corner kicks, the senior captain. Knuckleball in, goes over top of everyone. And out of bounds, it will be a throw in on the near side here for the Cougars. Clevenger over to the line to take the throw. Played up ahead. Goes over everyone as Landahl steps up, plays it to McGuire on the line. Thomas comes in and steals. Over to Nelson. Poked back by Landahl. Clevenger plays it over the top to clear it out. And Blake Miller in the box. Actually, he's out of the box, but he's going to dribble it back in to pick it up. Miller plays it into the middle with a lot of space for Trosper. One touch over by Helton to Cowger over the top. And too heavy bouncing ball, though. Stewart, good job adjusting to be able to grab that easily in the box. Good punt to the middle of the field. Trosper first to touch. Ruben Brake steps up, gets a touch into the middle. Gets it to Schumacher. And Schumacher looking for an option. Looks for Clevenger. 1-2 through. McGuire comes in and steals the ball. Back into the middle. Helton's there with some space. Good through ball to Perkins. Dole comes over and shields, and Stewart's able to come up to it to grab it. Stewart side spinning ball to the right side. Cason Hamlin there to shield. Being defended by Samuel Hammond. Hammond's able to win the battle, gets the throw in on the far side. Into Perkins, being defended by Brake. Perkins flips it over the top, ball back into the middle, and Clevenger decides to clear it away. Be a throw in for the Bulldogs on the far side. Perkins takes the throw into the middle. Clevenger does a good job of heading it away. McGuire on the ball, back into the box for, or back into the top, I should say, for Cowger. Over to Perkins. Perkins still on the ball. Dole steps in. Kauk with his left, and good save by Stewart. Good opportunity for the Bulldogs. Stewart, another side spinning ball to the right side. Hamlin misplays it, goes over. Hammond sends it in. Then Schumacher comes over to play it and plays it out of bounds, throwing forward. The Bulldogs, quick throw by Perkins over to Cowger. Cowger being defended by Nangle. Back to Perkins. Perkins sends a driving ball in, and Stewart's there on the hop. Quick rollout to Brandon Schumacher on the near side. Being challenged by Martinez, plays it down the line to Thomas. Thomas has a step up front, plays it back to Brandon Schumacher. One touch into the middle for Ben. Helton gets a touch over to Perkins. Perkins being challenged by Clevenger. Brandon Schumacher steps up and gets the steal. Plays it through, nobody there, and Landalt's there first for the Bulldogs. Back into the middle. Clevenger gets a touch into the air, heads it down. Thomas comes in and Helton. Clevenger still on the ball. Deflects it away and throw in for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs trying to speed up play. McGuire gets it into Kauk. Kauk touch to the back line. Dole sends it into the air. Schumacher shielding on Martinez. Meningus touches it away, and Schumacher sends it in the air. Trosper back into the middle. Ben Schumacher heads it down. Trosper back to the ball. Brandon Schumacher heads it back down. Martinez sends it into the box. Perkins is there challenging, and Stewart's able to get up there and win it first. Good job by Ruben Brake on that backside, marking Perkins on the run. McGuire rises up to win the header, falls to Nelson. Nelson looking at his options. Martinez comes into double. Nelson over to Ben Schumacher in the middle. Schumacher looking to switch the field for Brake on the run. Perkins chases back. Brake gets a one touch, but can't control it out of bounds. Throw in for the Bulldogs on the far side. Perkins again taking the throw up to Cowger. Nangle comes up to Mark, finds Kauk on the ball over the top, back to Cowger in the middle. Cowger a through ball, and Stewart's able to read it, come up to the top of the box to pick it up. Back into the middle of the field for Ben Schumacher, chipped over the top. Hammond heads it into the air. Brake comes in, gets a touch back into the middle. Hamlin there. Hamlin down to Schumacher. Whistle blown, and not sure what the call was there. Didn't look like there was much contact. Be a free kick for the Bulldogs. Zach Teeter there to take the kick for the Bulldogs. Driving ball in. Over the first line, headed in the air by Cowger. Stewart lets it go out of bounds, and it will be a goal kick for the Cougars. 3 subs at the line for the Bulldogs and 1 for the Cougars. Owen Horton subbing in for Cason Hamlin. Jaden Walker for the Bulldogs. Hunter Falcon. And let's see who else has come on. Mason Cowger has also checked in the game for the Bulldogs. Helton, Gavin Cowger, and Shea Perkins have subbed off. Ball first touch on the goal kick by Hammond. Carson Keller also in the game. Gets that touch on the far side, challenged by Brake. Keller on the ball. Deflected in the middle, into the air. Keller gets a header forward to Gavin Cowger. Gavin Cowger did remain in the game. Ball into the middle field. Mason Cowger wins it on the header up to his brother Gavin. Back heel, break, good read. Gets it over to Clevenger. Clevenger on the ground, nobody to connect. Trosper steals with some room. Ben Schumacher comes up to defend, finds Mason Cowger. Mason plays it through to his brother Gavin at the top. Good shot by Cowger. I'm sorry, by Nolan Cow. ball down the far side. Nangle's able to hit it to touch it away on the sideline. It'll be a throw in for the Bulldogs over on the far side. Ball back in, and Perkins tries to save it on the end line, but goes out of bounds. All right, back with some audio. Sorry about that. Keller plays it over the top. Nangle heads it down to Clevenger. Clevenger plays it through, and Ryan Landault there for the Bulldogs sends it back in. Martinez, good shoulder to get it over to Walker, but just a little off the mark, and it will be a throw-in for the Cougars. 20 minutes left to play. Bulldogs leading 1-0. Brandon Schumacher takes this short throw to Clevenger. Clevenger plays it high into the air. Teeter gets in there for a touch. Trosper wins it down. Switching the field over to Hammond. Owen Horton chasing to the far side to defend. Hammond with his left to Keller, back into the middle. Brake comes in to steal. Brake can't control it, stolen back by Trosper. Trosper plays it through with his left. Good slide tackle by Dole. Back to Trosper. Trosper carrying to the far side. Keller and Nelson challenge for it. Nelson gets a touch. Trosper with his left, and foul called on the play. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. So they did make that change after the goal. They put Ruben Brake up top and put Nelson back on that right defensive line. Ball back into play. Martinez chips it over the top. Clevenger comes in. Martinez makes the stab to get the tackle, but Clevenger's able to stay on it. Sends it over the top for Horton to chase. Brake's coming back to the middle if Horton can win it, and Landault smartly plays it out. It'll be a throw-in for the Cougars on the far side. Back into play for Clevenger. Illegal throw called on Horton. Didn't get it behind his head, so it'll be a throw-in down there in the corner for the Bulldogs. Perkins, McGuire, and Elliott Parker in the game for the Bulldogs. McGuire takes the throw. And Schumacher tries to win it down. Challenge for the ball with Martinez, and knocked out of bounds on the Bulldogs throw-in for the Cougars. And Schumacher takes the quick throw to Clevenger. Back to Nelson. Nelson's able to win the first challenge but loses the second one and picks up the foul as Helton won the ball through. It'll be a free kick for the Bulldogs just around midfield. 17:30 left to play here in the first half. Bulldogs leading 1-0. Ball sent into the box. Meningus is able to clear it away. Falls to Helton. Helton takes the touch and sends it wide of the frame. Goal kick for the Cougars as Stewart's got to chase all the way back for that ball against the wall. Gavin Dole will take the goal kick for the Cougars. Side spinning ball up ahead. Bounces over Thomas. Hunter Falcon lets it roll out of bounds. It will be a throw in for the Bulldogs. Falcon, the throw over the top. Clevenger heads it away. Another throw for the Bulldogs. Down into the attacking third. Falcon again there for the throw. Into Perkins. Perkins heads it forward. Dole with his left clears it away. And another throw in for the Bulldogs. Falcon there again to take the throw. Gets it to Martinez. Clevenger tries to clear, goes high into the air. Helton and Thomas there. Helton gets the first touch back into the middle. Martinez tries to bicycle, and Ben Schumacher was there and picked up the foul. Drew the foul, I should say, and it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Clevenger there takes the big ball over the top. Horton and break there. Teeter for the Bulldogs gets the first touch. Into the middle for Helton. Helton turns, plays it to the far side for Elliott Parker. Mason Cowger comes onto the ball. Cowger plays it down the line for Parker to chase. Too heavy, though, and that will be another goal kick for the Cougars. Dole takes it from the right side, plays it short to Nelson. Nelson one touch back to Dole on the back line. Dole high ball into the middle. Break challenging with Teeter. Ball bounces, Teeter heads it away. Falcon tries to keep it in on the sideline, and it goes out. Here on the near touch line, it will be a throw in for the Cougars. Thomas takes a quick throw. Teeter heads it into the air. Helton keeps it in on the sideline, back into the middle. Martinez one touch back to Helton. Helton and Walker there. Clevenger steps in and deflects, and ruled off of Clevenger. It will be a throw for the Bulldogs. Falcon takes the throw. Clevenger touches it first. Back into the middle. Martinez gets a ball and takes the shot. Stewart comes out of the box, able to grab it off the goal box. Still in the penalty box, and grabs it. Stewart, good punt into the middle, lands. Break and Teeter fight for it. Falls into the middle for Ben Schumacher. And looking to find some space. Looking to get the turn. Stolen back by the Bulldogs. Martinez plays it through, deflected by Clevenger. Walker chasing as Meningus looks to win the ball. Martinez again plays it through. Perkins chasing to the corner and swings and misses. It will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Justin Boney checking the game for the Cougars as Ruben Brake will take a break. Actually, it looks like Bennett Thomas is going to sub. Dole gets a bad kick and Perkins steals, but Dole does a good job deflecting the ball. It falls to Stewart in the box. Stewart top spinning ball ahead. Comes to Boney. Boney settles, leaves it for Clevenger. Deflected by the Bulldogs. Throw in for the Cougars here on the near side. Into Schumacher. He chests it down, tries to get through. Helton steals. Horton checks back. Kauk and Schumacher. Kauk good one touch with his left. Nelson heads it away. Back into the middle for Gavin Cowger. Over to the far side for Dylan McGuire. McGuire carrying down the line as Horton comes back to challenge. Gets it up to Perkins. Nelson's able to get in there and clear it away. Mason Cowger comes back to track. Horton deflects it, but back to Cowger. Over to Kauk. Played through into the box. And too heavy out of bounds on the end line. Be another goal kick for the Cougars. Just over 12 minutes left to play here in the first half. Bulldogs leading 1-0 on the goal from Nolan Kauk. Good to see Nolan Kauk back. He suffered an injury that looked like it could be more serious than it ended up being after a pretty vicious slide tackle in the Lebanon tournament. Nelson gets a good touch down the line, high into the air. Wynn holds it up. Horton gets there. McGuire chases back to Shield. Ball still rolling. Horton trying to find a space. McGuire plays it back to Teeter. Teeter clears it, but Schumacher gets to it. Schumacher into the box. Tries to turn. Schumacher still on the ball, stolen by McGuire. And Schumacher comes in and gets the tackle off of Schumacher to throw in for the Bulldogs. Some confusion there as the AR had signaled one way, but the center had signaled the other way. Throw in by McGuire. Bounces over Helton's head. Nelson chasing back. Nelson's able to win it. Back into the middle for Clevenger. Clevenger one touch to Ben Schumacher. He's looking to turn. On McGuire. Schumacher on the ball. Cuts it back into the middle. Helton pokes it away. Ben Schumacher back on the ball. Plays it back to Dole on the back line. Dole sends it back in. Bouncing ball. Teeter heads it in the air. Clevenger tries to settle it down. Teeter defending. Clevenger tries to get back to it. Teeter takes the flop, and they let it play. Ball played through. Meningus uses his speed. Shielding. Tries to get it back to Stewart, and Stewart's able to clear it away. Brand Schumacher there clears it into the middle of the field. Brake gets a touch. Clevenger's there. Clevenger gets a touch to settle it through. And ball bounces all the way into the box for Blake Miller to scoop up. Miller quickly out to the near side for Falcon. Brake comes in and steals over to Boney. Boney plays it through for Horton. If he's on, he is. Horton tries to take the shot and can't get a good connection on it. Miller's able to grab it. Miller punt to the far side. Perkins comes in and gets the first touch. Ball's loose in the middle. Schumacher on it. Schumacher cuts it back, gives it to Clevenger. Clevenger takes the deep shot and all the way into Miller for the scoop up. Ball again quickly out to Falcon on the near side. Brandon Schumacher steps up to challenge. Ball to Cowger. Back to Trosper. Trosper gets it back to Landahl on the back line. Over to Zach Teeter. Teeter plays it on a switch over to McGuire. McGuire down the line for Perkins on the run. Nelson is able to win the shield. And out of bounds, it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Good job by Liam Nelson to get that position and then just shield Perkins off the ball. Let's see if we can look back at that play while we're waiting here to see if Owen Horton was onside. Fans sure thought he was off. Let's see where it is. Nope, we're ready to restart play. Let's get back to it. Clevenger takes the restart. Martinez is there all alone. Looks for Cowger on the diagonal. Switches the field. Nelson's able to get to it. Plays it high into the air. Trosper and Brake there. Brake gets a touch into the middle. Helton gets a shoulder bump over top of Brake. It gets into Cowger. Cowger, good ball. Couk, good ball to Perkins at the top. Clevenger comes in and wins the challenge. Plays it out to the far side for Hamlin. And out of bounds, throw in for the Bulldogs. Hammond takes the throw in. Cowger makes a clever move to get free, but can't keep it in. Another goal kick for the Cougars. 7:30 to play here in the first half. Ball over to the near side. Trosper's able to keep it in. Clevenger comes in and steals. Being chased by Kauk. Clevenger plays it through with his left. Teeter steps in to win the battle. Brake challenges back. Teeter still on the ball, plays it through, and that's going to go all the way into the box. Stewart's able to scoop it up again. Stewart, good ball into the middle. Trosper wins it down, falls to Ben Schumacher, secures it with his chest, being ridden by Kauk. Schumacher plays it over the top and all the way into the box for Blake Miller to scoop up. Miller sends the knuckleball into the middle. Perkins there. Nangle comes to defend. Perkins sends it over the top. Good feet by Nelson. Perkins is able to settle it down. Gives it to Trosper. Trosper one touch with his right over the top for Martinez. Meningus over there to defend. Meningus gets a good touch off of Martinez, but Martinez wins it back. And Martinez tries to get the angle on Meningus, but loses it out the end line. Goal kick again for the Cougars. Gavin Dole back to take the goal kick. Back spinning ball over to the near side. Boney's there first. Boney gets the header back to Clevenger. Clevenger chips it over the top for Schumacher. Schumacher settles, drops back to Nangle. Nangle lets it roll for Nelson. Gavin Cowger chasing. Nelson carries it to the far side, finds Schumacher on the connection. Helton comes in and challenge to steal. Helton has some space. Nangle steps up to defend. Helton carrying across over to Perkins. Double team comes. Meningus able to win the battle. Helton comes back and wins the ball. Chipped over the top. Nelson again, good job heading it away. Falls to Cowger, who resets to Sam Hammond. To Trosper across the middle. Clevenger clears it away. Over on the near side, it'll be a throw for the Bulldogs. Dylan McGuire over on the near side to take the throw. Perkins checking in. Quickly to Perkins. Cleared away by the Cougars. Boney trying to shield. Trosper's able to poke in and steal. Over to Helton at the top. Into Cowger on the turn. Back to Cauk. Dole slides in. Falls back to Gavin Cowger. Nangle deflects. Cowger back to the ball again and cleared away by Brandon Schumacher, and Cowger gets the flop. Let's take a look at that. Dole makes a nice tackle there. Good call by the ref there as Clevenger stepped in and tripped up Cowger. Four-man wall for the Cougars. They're about 7 yards away, and the Bulldogs are going to ask for some extra space. Cauk's all alone over here on the right side. 4 Cougars defending man-to-man on the left. Cowger plays it to Cauk, but too heavy, and out the end line for a goal kick. Hudson Clevenger back to take the goal kick for the Cougars. Driving ball in the middle, bounces. Teeter comes in, plays it back into the air. Helton heads it forward. Cauk comes in, touches wide for Hammond to chase. And Nelson lets it roll out. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Nelson into Clevenger. Clevenger tries to play it through, deflected. It looked like there was a handball there. The handball is called. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Clevenger takes the side spinning ball into the top. Teeter's able to win it first. Into Trosper with space in the midfield. Trosper carrying with plenty of room. Plays it through. Perkins on the run and falls all the way into the box for Stewart to grab. Stewart punts back to the middle. Schumacher and Trosper challenge for it. Falls to Boney. Boney tries to keep it in, but falls out of bounds to the Bulldogs. Dylan McGuire takes the throw. Brandon Schumacher able to clear back to Trosper. Trosper finds Gavin Cowger down to McGuire. McGuire into the middle. Dole and Nangle both come for it. Dole's able to clear it back. Boney heads it forward. Teeter's there, wins it down. Teeter carrying down the near side, keeps it in. cuts it back, but Clevenger's right there to steal. Cowger comes in and deflects, falls to Martinez. Ball across, Nelson sweeps it away. Helton heads it back in. Deflection goes to Kauk. Schumacher comes in for the steal and draws the foul. It will be a free kick for the Cougars. 1:20 left to play. Cougars push their back line up as Clevenger comes back to take the free kick. Played over to the far side for Hamlin. Hamlin touches it down with his chest but can't settle it. Perkins gets to the ball. Hamlin's still chasing as Sam Hammond comes back and wins it for the Bulldogs. Cut back into the middle for Kauk. Nelson's able to win it and clear. Back on the far side, break, and Perkins. Perkins sends it back into the middle. Clevenger goes into the air for the header. Is able to get another touch on it. Gavin Cowger comes over to pressure and out of bounds on the Cougars. Throw in for the Bulldogs. 30 seconds remaining. Clevenger deflects, but Helton stays on it. Good touch by Helton into the top of the box. Dole defending. Nelson comes over. Nelson to the corner. Still makes the cut up the field. Both players go down and out of bounds. Less than 10 seconds left. We're a little bit off on, actually about 10 seconds off on my clock here. Just 3 seconds left. That should do it for the first half. So the Cougars hold on to just giving up one goal here in the first half. The Bulldogs definitely dominated the attack, but the Cougars did a nice job preventing too many good opportunities on goal. So we'll take a halftime break here. Send you through the first half recap. And we'll be back for the start of the second half. All right, come inside the booth real quick here to give you the little halftime recap. Cougars have done a nice job, really, of staying in this game. 1-0 at half. Obviously, the scoring the goal early didn't happen for the Cougars, but they have done a decent job of denying Gavin Cowger space in the midfield to operate. The Bulldogs' goal, did come off of that play where Cowger was playing as a false nine, basically at the top of the box to distribute. Cowger's done that several times, given the Bulldogs opportunities to shoot. This first touch, the Cougars initially to start the game were winning the first touch, but then not able to possess. I thought they made a nice adjustment and have done a better job of collecting to the ball after that first touch to get possession in the midfield. Possession without running is I don't think they're doing a great job of that. I think maybe we are a little too anxious to send it over the top and clear the ball instead of finding an open pass and trying to possess a little bit. But I do understand, if you're feeling a threat in the midfield, it's better to clear it away and fight to live another day as opposed to giving up a transition in the middle of the field. All right, well, both teams are back on the field, so we'll head back to the field to start the second half. The Cougars will take the kick. Ben Schumacher appears to be playing up top to start the second half for the Cougars. Hamlin on the right, Boney on the far left. And we're underway to start the second. Drop back to Clevenger. Clevenger chips it over to the near side and falls out of bounds. Hammond there to take the throw. Quickly into Helton, but stays on the line. It's out of bounds, thrown for the Cougars. Kason Hamlin there to take the throw, gets to Schumacher. Schumacher tracks across, being defended by Kauk. Schumacher gets a touch to space, trying to make the turn. Gets back to the ball, no foul. Schumacher sends it over to Brake, deflected away. Brake to Hamlin. Hamlin's able to open up. Played through, deflected into the box. Teeter and Schumacher challenge for it. Hamlin gets to it, into the box. Teeter and Hamlin still charging for it. Teeter takes the flop. Hamlin's still on the ball. And finally, a foul called, I believe, on the Cougars. Free kick for the Bulldogs. Teeter there to take the kick. Low driving ball. Clevenger first to touch but can't control it. Helton runs on. Heavy as Nangle comes in. Helton stays on the ball, though. Nelson, good one touch to Hamlin. Too far off. Hammond comes to win it. Slide tackle by Teeter and gets called for the foul. Definitely got ball, but came in a little high. I think that's what the ref saw. Be a free kick for the Cougars. Nelson over to take the kick. Clevenger looks like he's hurting. I'm not sure if he's just walking or if he's walking gingerly, but Nelson takes the low ball in. Kauk steals. Tries to get it to Gavin Cowger. Falls all the way to far side for Brandon Schumacher. Ball bounces. Teeter plays it back through. Perkins, good job settling. Looking to turn. Nangle comes into pressure. Perkins gets the turn. Nangle's chasing from behind. Plays it over the top to Martinez on the far side if he's on. Martinez chips it over the top. Hammond's on the near side. Hammond can't settle it down, and it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. All right, goal kick taken by Gavin Dole. Nelson, one touch in the air. Dole tries to settle down with his chest. And foul called in the box on Dole as he's challenging with Cowger. It's going to be a penalty kick for the Bulldogs. Let's see if we can check that out on replay. So Nelson makes this one touch back, and just a tough ball to handle. Dole didn't need to foul there. Cowger made the touch past him, but it wasn't going to be a threat as it was way off the mark. Let's get a little tighter here as Gavin Cowger will take the penalty kick for the Bulldogs. Takes the shot and scores the goal. And the Bulldogs take the 2-0 lead. Stewart Guest to the left. Calgary went to the Stewart Guest to Calgary's left. Calgary's right. Calgary went to his left and converted. So just some undisciplined play there by the Cougars, resulting in a penalty kick opportunity. Restart of play now. Still a good one touch over to Hamlin. Hamlin in the middle, break, knees it high into the air. Hamlin trying to get to it. Still fighting for it. Break gets a touch. Hamlin's able to win the ball back. Makes a touch wide. Hamlin down the near side, being defended by Hammond. Back into the middle. And Helton gets a touch. It deflects it out off of Hamlin's foot. Throwing for the Bulldogs. Quickly to Perkins, who sends it off over the top. Cowger chasing. And good defense by Nelson to clear that away. Stewart was trying to stay in the box and kind of flail his arms to try to defend it, and Nelson did a good job of getting back to clear it away. Engel steps in on the ball in, clears it away, falls back to Hammond. Hammond into Gavin Cowger, 1-2 from Cauk to Cowger. Schumacher's able to touch it in there, and Stewart comes in and scoops it up. 2-0 Bulldogs lead here early in the second half. Good punt away by Stewart, all the way up to break. Touches it down with his shoulder, rolls all the way down into the attacking third for the Cougars. Will be a throw in for the Bulldogs. Sam Hammond down to take the throw. Back to Landahl on the back line for the Bulldogs. Landahl back to Miller in the box. Break chasing. Miller line drive into the middle. Boney gets a touch. Falls to Perkins. Perkins trying to switch the field. Missed touch. Martinez and Schumacher on the far side. Brandon Schumacher gets called for the push, and it'll be a free kick for the Bulldogs. Quick restart. Boney pops it into the air. Helton with his shoulder. Break comes in on the challenge and wins it. Helton comes back. On the near side, loses out of bounds. It will be a throw for the Cougars. I don't think we've seen Bennett Thomas back in the game. Oh, no, he's on the far side. Bennett Thomas over there on the left. Hamlin up to Ben Schumacher. Finds Bennett Thomas. Deflected away, Hamlin back across the middle. Falls to McGuire on the far side. McGuire has some room to carry. Plays it on the ground. Gets through. Gavin Cowger on the run. Gets a touch into the box. Meningas comes in to challenge. Cuts it back for Martinez. And Martinez just didn't get a good contact on the ball. Really nice play set up by the Bulldogs. And Cowger just streaming down that line. Good challenge here by Martinez, but you see there's no mark on the follow as all the defenders went to the goal instead of to the mark. Reset of play here. Ball's out of bounds on the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the throw into Ben Schumacher. Back to Hamlin. Challenged by Sam Hammond. Falls to Cauk. Defended by Boney. Hamlin one touch back into the middle. Stolen by Trosper. Meningas comes in and deflects. Falls to Brandon on the ground. Gets it to Ben. Ben tries to turn. Stolen back by Cauk. Cauk missed touches. And he's hurt on the play. Bennett up to Ben Schumacher. Challenging with Teeter. Teeter comes in and shields. And we're going to stop the clock as Cauk's going to sub off. Cauk's dealing with that knee injury. Okay, restart a play. Nelson gets the throw in to break. Cleared away by Landahl. Hamlin's there, gets a touch on it. Hamlin and Mason Cowger fighting for possession. Cowger gets the through ball to Perkins. Perkins gets there to touch, cuts it back into the middle. Takes the shot, deflection, and Stewart's there to make the save. Stewart, quick throw out to the far side for Bennett Thomas. Thomas wins it down back to the back line for Brandon Schumacher. He cuts it back in. Stolen by Trosper. Gets it to Cowger. Into the attack. Played to Martinez. Martinez across the box. Stewart gets a deflection. Shot comes in by Perkins. And still in play as Trosper tries to win a header in. But out of bounds off the side of the net. And goal kick for the Cougars. Another nice attack by the Bulldogs. Dole will restart play, sends it high in the air to the near side. Hamlin comes in and can't win it in bounds. It's a throw in for the Bulldogs. Perkins there to take the throw, throws it over top of Schumacher's head. Helton with his shoulder into the middle. Dole tries to settle it down. Angle comes in and clears away with his left. Teeter there for the Bulldogs, plays it wide to McGuire. McGuire over to Martinez. Meningas comes up to challenge. Martinez into the middle for Cowger. Cowger gets a good touch, takes the shot, and Cowger is ruled offside. Definitely didn't see that. Let's see if we can look at that on replay. Oh, yep, Cowger just off on that play. Good call by the AR on the far side. Restart of play. The free kick was deflected out of bounds. Bulldogs get the throw. Played back to the back line for Landahl. Landahl on the ground to the far side, switch to McGuire. In the middle for Helton, stolen by the Cougars, but back to the Bulldogs. Cowger gets the one touch wide to the corner for Martinez. Meningas and Martinez challenge for the ball. And Meningas is able to clear it off the end line. It will be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Cowger there to take the corner. Martinez standing right behind Stewart. Perkins gets the header. And the Bulldogs score another goal. See, this ball comes into the backside. Perkins is being marked by Nelson. But Nelson jumps up. Perkins just read the positioning better and connects for the open goal. (3-0) lead now for the Bulldogs. Restart of play. Break over to Schumacher, over to Thomas. Thomas turns it wide, clips it back, stolen by the Bulldogs. Trosper stays on it, gets it back to Teeter. Into the middle for Mason Cowger with space. Finds Helton. Played through to Perkins. Perkins to McGuire on the one touch. McGuire into the box for Mason Cowger. And just a little too heavy as Stewart's able to come up and grab it. Stewart punts it in the air. Owen Horton's able to win it. Being challenged by Hammond. Horton keeps it in. Actually ruled out on the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Bulldogs. Hammond takes it to Martinez. And subs checking in the game for the Bulldogs. Also, Edgar Nito checking in the game for the Cougars. As Justin Boney takes a break. Carson Keller, and Jaden Walker subbing in the game for the Bulldogs. Also, Hunter Falcon checking in. Perkins and Hammond subbing out. I'm not sure who the third. Oh, Martinez also subbing out. Restart of play. Teeter plays it over the top. Angle settles it down, but out of bounds. So it'll be a throw for the Cougars in the attacking third. Falcon all the way down to take the throw. Schumacher comes in. Gets knocked off the ball. Falcon wins it. Over to Cowger. Cowger across the frame. Meningus deflects it with his shoulder. Falls to Walker on the chase. Brandon Schumacher's able to get back there and win it. Deflected off of Walker into the corner. And it'll be a throw in for the Cougars. Horton leaves it for Dole in the corner to take the throw. Dole, big throw down the line. Walker there first, deflects it in the middle. Nito comes on, chips it over the top. McGuire gets a touch to settle. Finds it into space as Helton runs on it. Dole clears it off of Cowger. Falls to Mason Cowger, back in the middle. Finds Trosper. Trosper to Cowger as that pivot. To Helton. The shot deflected by Stewart and cleaned up by Keller for the goal. And the Bulldogs take a 4-0 lead. Again, Cowger operating as that pivot. Deflection by Stewart. And Keller cleans it up. All right, back to the action. Break to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher in the middle. Drop back to Nelson. Nelson back to Schumacher trying to turn. Being defended by Trosper, stolen away. To Walker on the near side. Angle reads it. Gets a touch on it, plays it back into the middle. Ben Schumacher there, gets a touch wide. Cowger comes in. Play on. Dole misses the touches. Helton's able to steal. Dole comes in on the tackle and out of bounds. Throw in for the Bulldogs. Mason Cowger there to take the throw. Down into the corner for his brother Gavin. Gavin chips it through. Brandon Schumacher able to steal up to Horton. Falcon gets a touch and goes out of bounds. Brandon Schumacher there to take the throw. Into the middle. Ben Schumacher is able to win it. Drop back to Edgar Nito on the back. Back to Schumacher on the pivot. Back to Nelson. Nelson back on the ground, deflected by Trosper. Over to the far side for Meningus. Meningus lets it roll out. Be a throw in for the Cougars. Back into the middle. Headed away by the Bulldogs on the sideline. Chipped in by Elliot Parker. Actually, flag is up. It was out of bounds on the touch line. So it'll be a throw for the Cougars. Dole takes the throw up ahead. Travis Lewis rises up to win the header and knocked out of bounds by the Cougars. Actually, was off of Lewis. So it's a throw in for the Cougars. Dole drops it to Schumacher, back to Dole. Ball falls through. Gavin Cowger steals. Meningus defending, tries to clear, falls to Mason. Played through into the box. Stewart reads it, comes up, and is able to grab it at the top. Stewart, good ball back into the middle. Horton tries to settle. Mason Cowger comes on. Dole shielding. Dole makes the turn. Walker comes in to challenge. Back to Walker. Played through to Cowger. One touch wide to Walker. Angle comes in to challenge. Walker cuts it back. Plays it through to Gavin Cowger. One touch back to Mason. Sent across the box. Nelson heads it away. And Helton takes the follow touch, goes way over the goal. Goal kick for the Cougars. We did see early on that Hudson Clevenger was limping, and he did go out and hasn't returned. He is favoring his knee over there on the sideline. Goal kick sent back into trouble, and Nito does a good job. Edgar Nito clears it away for the Cougars, throwing Bulldogs. Into the middle for Cowger, goes through. Nito pops it into the air. Nelson heads it away. Schumacher's there, heads it down into some space for Dole. Dole chips it over the top for Brake to run under. Travis Lewis there for the Bulldogs. Lewis heads it into the corner, and that'll be a throw in the attacking third for the Cougars. This is the opportunity for them to get a chance to take a shot. Dole to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher looking to get to the edge. Makes the turn. Still in. Plays it in the air to Horton, and that's not going to work. Deflected away. Throw in for the Bulldogs. Brandon Schumacher there, plays it back in the middle for Ben. Bounces over, Lewis clears it. Back on the challenge, Walker and Schumacher. And ruled off Schumacher throwing for the Bulldogs. Gavin Cowger there to take the throw, finds McGuire in the middle. McGuire, good head forward to Walker. Cowger on the run, makes a heavy touch to the corner and can't keep it in. Throw in for the Cougars in the defensive third. Brandon Schumacher there to take the throw for the Cougars. Horton's there on the ball, can't keep it in. Throw in for the Bulldogs. Horton steals, gets it up to Brake. Brake trying to settle, looking to make a turn. Bulldogs try to keep it in, but out of bounds. Throw in for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher there to take the throw. Dole checks back. Wins it down with his chest, back to Nito on the back line. Nito chips it into the air for Dole. Dole trying to settle. McGuire comes on the challenge and is able to dislodge him of the ball. McGuire plays back to the back line for Parker. Thomas comes in on the challenge on the far side. Parker plays it down the line for Keller to run under. Nelson shielding. Lets it get into the box, and Stewart's able to grab it. Stewart punts it back into the middle. Mason Cowger one touch with his foot up ahead. Meningus comes in. Trosper plays it back. Meningus steals. Good touch by Dole to settle. Runners coming. Dole plays it on the ground to Schumacher. Lewis does a good job stepping in to clear. Dole wins it back into position. Touches over there when Keller steals. Leaves it in the middle for Mason Cowger to run to. Angle comes up to defend. Finds Gavin Cowger. Played back to Mason on the far side. Cowger into the box. Chips it back. Nito's there in position. Clears it away. Bunch of room for Dole in the middle of the field. Gavin Cowger chases all the way back and steals. Switch the field to Keller, back into Cowger. Cowger to McGuire, back to Cowger, takes the shot and goes wide of the goal. Goal kick for the Cougars. Under 20 minutes to play, sub at the line for the Bulldogs. Looks like that's Martinez waiting to check in. Nito takes the goal kick. High ball. Ben Schumacher heads it forward. Travis Lewis heads it back as Bennett Thomas chases. Landault steps up and plays it into the air. Gavin Cowger is able to receive it down and turn. He has some space in the middle, plays it through, deflected by Nelson and stolen. Nelson to the wide side for Horton. Horton missed touch as Walker chases, goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Bulldogs. And there's a sub ready to check. Gavin Calgary will sub out. Actually, that's... I actually can't tell who that is checking in. I think it might be Nolan Kauk. Yeah, that is Kauk. Okay, ball back into play. Ball in the air. Trosper there settles it down for McGuire to come on. Nelson comes in with a good slide. Walker drops it back to Calgary. Angle clears it away. Horton's on the ball. Horton has some room to run as Falcon comes in and shields. Gets it to Walker. Horton still chasing. Finds Calgary. Calgary is able to turn. Switch over to Trosper in the middle of the field. Trosper on the far side. Plays it through. Deflected by Nelson. Back to Trosper. Wide to Keller. Keller on the ground to Kauk. One touch to Trosper. Trosper into the box. Meningus defending. Chip back to Keller. Keller chips it in. Nelson again deflects. And that'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Ball sent in. And another goal for the Bulldogs. Actually, sorry, I was fooled there. No goal. Let me see what happens. Oh, it's on the... Just went over the backside of the net. Okay, so ball back into play. Walker wins it down to McGuire. Nelson wins it into the air. And out of bounds. Throwing for the Bulldogs. Landau takes his time, plays it back to Miller. Dole chasing as Dole switched to up top. Ball in. Schumacher gets a touch, but too heavy. Parker clears it away. Into McGuire with a lot of space in the middle. Nelson there to defend. McGuire plays it through. Meningus, good touch into the middle. Trosper heads it back to McGuire. Played over the top for Walker to chase. Stewart read it, though, and gets there first for the Cougars. Good punt all the way to the near side. Still in play, will go out for a throw-in for the Bulldogs. Falcon takes the throw. Schumacher there to win it. Schumacher looking to make a turn. Plays the three-toe, deflected by Trosper. Gets it back, chips it over the top. Parker lets it run. Lewis chops it back into the air. Trosper wins the header down. Brandon Schumacher and Walker fight for possession. Walker's able to get it over to McGuire. Nelson steps up to defend. McGuire pokes it through to Keller. Keller opens up, plays it down the line for Parker to chase. Meningus there defending. Parker gets a touch, but out the end line, and goal kick again for the Cougars. Ball into the middle of the field. Trosper first to touch. Brandon Schumacher, good steal and settle. Finds his brother Ben with some room. Ben back to Nelson. Out coming on challenge. Nelson pushing through. 4 defenders for the Bulldogs able to steal. Nito comes over to defend in the corner on McGuire. Nito wins the challenge, gets it to Meningus, and Stewart comes up and saves it in play to be able to punt it. Stewart spinning ball over to Thomas. Parker rises up and gets the header. Dole there to shield. Dole looking for his options to find the pass. Falls to Thomas. Thomas can't get the touch as Parker plays it away. Over to the near side. Out of bounds. Throwing for the Cougars. Horton there to take the throw. Actually, he'll leave it for Brandon Schumacher. Over to Ben. Schumacher looking to turn back to Brandon. Deflected away by the Bulldogs, still in play, and goes out. Throwing for the Cougars. Lucas Nangle there to take the throw. Nangle plays it in, stolen by Walker. Chipped over the top. Nangle, good job winning it back with his chest. Plays it with his left. Trosper steps in and steals, gets it to McGuire. McGuire through to Kauk. Nato's there and plays it out of bounds on the sideline. Throw in for the Bulldogs as 4 subs coming back in the game for the Bulldogs. That's Teeter, Perkins, Hammond, and Pelton checking in as Trosper, Keller, Walker, and Mason Cowger check out. Throw in, stolen by the Cougars. Horton to Schumacher. Stolen back by Perkins. Sent across. Nelson's there. Nelson tries to settle it down with his foot. Plays it back into the air with his right. Horton and Perkins challenging for the ball. Perkins shields. Plays it back to Travis Lewis. Drop back to Landahl. Dole comes to chase. Landahl looking to switch the field. Finds Parker. Elliot Parker on the far side. Leaves it for Teeter. Teeter's able to turn. Plays it through. Connected to Kauk. Kauk in the box takes the strike. Stewart's there to make the save. Followed by Kauk. And he scores the goal. Nolan Kauk's second goal of the day for the Bulldogs. Good follow by Kauk after going out with the knee injury, able to return back to the game. And gets his second goal of the day. All right, restart of play. Schumacher back to Nelson. Nelson finds Schumacher on the pivot, chipped over to Thomas. Thomas tries to win it down with his chest. Parker's there to shield. Parker tries to turn back. Gets a poke up to Helton. Helton up ahead to Martinez. Martinez has room to turn. Perkins deflected by Nangle. Room for Schumacher. Schumacher for Dole. Dole one touch to Schumacher, but off the mark, and McGuire's able to play it all the way back to Landahl. Landahl played over the top. Teeter heads it back into the middle. McGuire's able to settle with his left. To Helton. Helton plays it across the field, still on the ball. Has room in front. Helton takes the space. Nelson comes in, kind of makes an awkward tackle, falls to Teeter. Meningus defended on the far side. Teeter with his left, deflected by Martinez. Meningus is able to clear. Falcon and Horton challenge for the ball. Falcon sends it back into Perkins. Perkins takes a shot, deflected by Schumacher. Back to Falcon. Good settle and turn. Over to Hammond on the near side. Hammond cross. Falls to McGuire. McGuire takes the long shot. And over the goal. Goal kick for the Cougars. Boney and Grayson Crumrine subbing in the game for the Cougars as Meningus and Nelson sub out. Nato takes the free kick. First touch by Thomas, gets it to Ben Schumacher. Over to the far side for Thomas. Thomas back to the back line for Crumrine. Ryan back down the line, out of bounds. Throw in for the Bulldogs. Quick throw into Martinez. Martinez chops it in. Stewart can't handle it, and not sure if it was a touch. Goal kick is the ruling. Ball back into the middle of the field. Dole comes in and steals. Falcon sends it back all the way up to Martinez. Martinez settles. Leaves it for Perkins. Perkins being defended by Nangle. Cross to Helton. Helton takes the strike. Can't get it on frame. And another goal kick for the Cougars. Stewart up ahead. Ball's loose. Helton and Schumacher. Perkins is able to get the loose ball. Gets it to his right foot and takes a shot. Can't get it on frame. And another goal kick. Nato takes the kick up ahead. First touch by Helton. Perkins in there. Schumacher pops it into the air. Martinez gets the ball. Nangle's able to deflect. Boney on the ball, stolen back by Helton. Helton carrying across. Schumacher defending. Played across and deflected in off the side of the goal. Be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Martinez over there to take the corner. Spinning ball into the backside. Perkins first to touch. Dole's able to deflect, and Kremrine clears. All the way back to Elliott Parker. Parker plays it back in, deflected by Thomas. Dole settles it down with his chest. Chipped over the top for break to run under. Falcon there defending. Played it back to Landahl. I'm sorry, to Lewis. Into the middle for Ben Schumacher. Schumacher settles. Makes a move on McGuire. Schumacher with some space. Plays it through to break. Lewis is there and is able to make the steal and play it over to the far side. Thomas steals. Thomas across the middle. Deflected away by Cruz Boren. A lot of room in the midfield for Perkins. I didn't see Boren sub in the game. Nangle and Martinez challenge for the ball at the top. Martinez cuts it back. Nato comes in and clears it away. Krumrine finishes the clear. Gets it all the way over to Thomas on the far side. Thomas being defended by Helton. And loses that out of bounds. Be a throw-in for the Cougars. Krumrine up to take the throw. Up to Dole. Dole tries to settle it down. Ball falls to McGuire. Up to Perkins. To Martinez on the turn. Chip through to Perkins. Nito, good foot to play it into the air. Teeter's on the run. And the ball bounced off Teeter's elbow. They'll get called for the handball. 5:30 left to play here in the varsity match. With as many Cougars that have gone down injured, I'm not sure if we'll honestly have enough to play a JV match. Nito plays the ball in. McGuire on it, gets it to Perkins. Perkins touch to McGuire. McGuire carrying as Dole defends, played through, and Stewart's there to gathered up on the end line. Stewart punts it back into the middle of the field. Break gets a nice touch to settle. Can't control it as Cruz Boren steps in to steal. Back into the middle for Perkins. Perkins finds some space, takes the shot from 30. And off the crossbar, goal kick for the Cougars. More subs coming in the game for the Bulldogs. Walker, Keller, Mason Cowger, and Ryan Landault back in the game. Also, Nick Falk checking in for the Bulldogs. Landault, who normally plays that sweeper role for the Bulldogs, is playing more of in a midfield position now. Nito taking the goal kick for the Cougars. Side spinning ball over to the far side. Teeter steals, pops it over the top. Nito comes back and knees it away. Over to the far side, Falk keeps it in. Plays it back in to Teeter, deflected away. Boney there plays it out the end line, and it'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Left-footed kick by Hammond in. And deflected away by the Bulldogs. It will be a goal. I'm sorry, it's a corner kick. AR had ruled goal kick, but center overruled them. Corner kick again for the Bulldogs. 2:40 to play. Tough sun coming from that side. Mason Cowger plays it short to Parker. Parker into the box. Teeter and Ben Schumacher there. Boney gets the ball, clears it out with his left. Elliot Parker chases back to the ball. Falk's there first. Falk carrying it down the line. Thomas comes in and deflects it up to Brake. Brake plays it over the top. Owen Horton chases as Travis Lewis gives space, gets a touch to Boren. Boren on the near side plays it to Hammond. Hammond, good one touch into Landault. Back to Hammond on the run. Nangle comes in to defend. Hammond keeps it in and finally falls out of bounds. It will be a throw in for the Cougars. In the corner, that's Nangle there to take the throw. Lucas Nangle down the line, doesn't get it in bounds. It'll be a throw for the Bulldogs. Hammond there to take the throw into the box. Keller rises up. Brandon Schumacher's able to clear it away on the ground to Dole. Dole tries to turn, loses it to the Bulldogs. That's Mason Cowger trying to get through, and Nito clears it away, but out the end line, another corner kick for the Bulldogs. Mason Cowger over to take the corner. Chipped ball in. Good job by Dole to head that down. And shot goes over the goal. Goal kick for the Cougars. Less than a minute to play. Played short to Schumacher, back into the middle. Cowger comes to steal. Gets it over to Falk. Into Keller. Keller tries to turn. Dole steals, gets it to Thomas. Keller gets the ball back, plays it through to Walker. Walker plays it over to the far side for Parker. Parker on the ball, plays it off of Thomas's shoulder out of bounds. Teeter takes the throw. Walker into the corner, being defended by Crumrine and can't get the turn on it out the end line for another goal kick for the Cougars. Less than 20 seconds to play. This may be the last possession of the game. Stewart gets it in the middle. Parker deflects, falls to Thomas. Ball back in the middle. Boney comes in to clear. And 5 seconds to play. That's the horn. Final score, Bulldogs 5 and the Cougars 0. Tough match for the Cougars today without Michael Perigin, their leading scorer, and really the controller of the field for the Cougars. And then when Clevenger went out early in the second half, there was just not a whole lot left for the Cougars on the side of the attack. That did a good job to keep the game to the full time. Bulldogs did a really good job possessing, attacking from the wings, and making connected passes in that final third. Gavin Cowger, playing with his back to the goal, did a nice job distributing. All right, we'll take a break here. I'm not sure if we are going to do a JV game or not. See if I can get some info on that for you and be right back to you with that information. Okay, they do have 10 minutes on the clock. We are getting ready for a JV half. So audio test. Okay, sorry, lost the audio again there. We are going to do a JV half. Looks like there's just about 4 minutes on the clock, and then we'll get started with the JV match. All right, the teams are on the field. JV half getting ready to start. We have Brogan Reether on the ball for the Cougars. Spencer Jackson on the left. Lucas Nangle playing midfield along with Brant Smathers. Kason Hamlin on the far right side. Across the back, Grayson Crumrine, Justin Boney, Edgar Nito, and Brogan. I'm sorry, Ramos. I've drawn a blank on our right back's name. Brainer Ramos. All right, we're ready to start the action. Got Judah up here in the booth with me. Judah, you want to take over for a few minutes? All right, is the audio working? All right, we're back. Thank you, my wonderful, beautiful assistant, Judah. All right, Dole on the ball. I'm out of breath from running up the steps. Back to the back line for Boney. Ball in the middle of the field, stolen by Boren. Played to the far side for Western. Into the corner. And corner kick is the ruling for the Bulldogs. Side spinning ball in. Edgar Nito, good job heading it away. Out on the run, Reether there. Played up to Hamlin. Hamlin to Dole. Dole back on the 1-2 to Hamlin. Number 4, Travis Lewis steps in for the Bulldogs to win it. Coming down the far sideline, gets through Nangle. Smathers there to defend. Lewis still on the ball, sending it through. Boney is able to block it away. Back in the middle of the field, Falk gets a touch. Over to Reether. Hamlin sends it back in. Number 33, Chad. Ben Chad sends it to the middle. Jackson plays it to the near side, and out of play will be a throw-in for the Bulldogs. Ben Chad takes the throw-in. Smathers, good job heading it away. Smathers and Reether fight for the ball. Cruz Boren gets there, heads it forward. Boren gets through, plays it through. Ramos gets a touch, stolen back by Western, but Nato's able to clear it away. There'll be a throw-in on the far side for the Bulldogs. Quick throw into Western. Boren sends it across. Cleared away by Smathers, up to Reether. Reether finds Dole on the ground. Dole looking to play it across the field to Jackson. Jackson touch into the air, and foul called on Jackson. Be a free kick for the Bulldogs. Ball played across. Hamlin gets the first touch. Falls to Falk. Falk plays it back to the back line for Chad. Over the top. Challenge in the box by Western. Gabe Western, the freshman for the Bulldogs. Nito's able to shield, and Connor Perry picks it up in the box. Perry punts it away to the near side. Out of bounds, resulting in a throw-in for the Bulldogs. Elliot Parker over to take the throw. Restart a play. Parker throws it into the corner. Falk gets to the ball. Boney steps in, and Nato's able to clear. All the way up to the top line. Chad heads it down. Lewis is there to possess, plays it forward to number 25, Lucas Denton. Denton's able to make the turn. Chips it over to Jamie. Jamie still on the ball, takes the shot, and saved by Connor Perry. Actually, that may not be. Let's see. Ball in the middle. Over to the far side for Hamlin. Kason Hamlin on the ball. Wins the drop back. Stolen away by number 6, Lucas Hilskowski. He's in the box. Takes the shot off the near post. And out the end line, ruled a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Brandon Schumacher subbing in the game for Grayson Krumrine. Caesar Moda taking the corner kick. I was thinking number 20 was Dominic Jamie, but Caesar Mota on the roster here. Edgar Nito takes the goal kick into the middle of the field. Elliot Parker chases back for it on the near side. Played back in. Denton tries to settle with his chest. Jackson's able to clear it. Dole sends it over the top. The goalkeeper, Tim Clark, comes out of the box and fight for the ball on the far side with Hamlin and Lewis. Lewis is able to win it out of bounds. Be a throw in for the Cougars. Hamlin takes the throw to Dole. Dole back to Schumacher. Sends it off the mark wide. He's able to keep it in to Ramos. Ramos over the top. One down by Falk. Up to Hilskowski. Across to Isaac Brown on the near side. Brown gets the turn. Angle chasing from behind. Brown sends it across the box. Ramos is able to clear it away almost into a dangerous spot, but the Cougars are able to clear. Smathers with some room. Battles Parker, deflects it off, gets it to Reether. Brogan Reether tracks back into space, drops it back to Boney. Boney up ahead, stolen away by Hilsnowski. Brandon Schumacher defending. Finds Caesar Mota. Ball played down the line, and Schumacher sends it out of bounds on the touchline for a throw-in for the Bulldogs. Crumrine subbing back in the game for the Cougars as Lucas Nangle will take a break. Also, Isaac Brown subbing out for number 26, Lantry Davidson for the Bulldogs. Ball back into play. Jackson fighting for possession with Elliot Parker. Smathers is able to steal it to Jackson. Up ahead to Reether. Reether drops back and actually goes out of bounds first. All right. Sorry, I lost the audio there. We're back. Back into the middle of the field. Caesar Mota on the ball. Smathers comes back and steals it. And out of bounds, throw in on the far side for the Cougars. Actually, it's a free kick. Brandon Schumacher takes the free kick up ahead. Chad heads it away. Dole got a touch but couldn't control it. Falls to Falk. Up to Denton. Over to Moda. Ramos challenging for the ball. Brandon Ramos for the Cougars. Goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Bulldogs. Denton's able to win it back to Parker. Crumrine steps in and knocks it out of play. It'll be a throw here on the near side for the Bulldogs. 17 minutes left to play. Elliot Parker there to take the throw. Headed up into the air. Denton comes through with a swing. Moda comes through with a swing. And shot taken off the crossbar. And goal kick awarded. Let's see if we can take a look back at that one. That loose ball comes in. Parker takes the strike. Sends it off the crossbar. All right, Nito back to take the goal kick for the Cougars. High ball into the middle. Boring gets the first touch. Chipped back across the field to Parker. Parker heads it into space. Jackson gets a touch, gets it to Dole. Dole plays it through to Hamlin on the run. Hamlin out ahead. Lewis comes in to challenge. Hamlin is able to win it, cuts it back into the middle. Hamlin over to Reether. Chad comes in and knocks it away. Denton makes a touch to connect to Davidson on the near side. But out of bounds, it'll be a throw for the Cougars. back 2. And out of bounds, goal kick for the Cougars. Connor Perry taking the goal kicks for the Cougars. 10 minutes left to play. Perry plays it up to Smathers. Smathers able to turn, gets it to Jackson. Jackson settles, plays it across. Denton's there to steal. Deflected by Jackson. Played back in by Davidson. Boney on the back line. Settles and plays to Crumrine. Crumrine to Jackson. Back to Crumrine. He chips it over the top. Chad sends it back in the middle with the header. Brown comes in. Creates some space with the header into the run. Brown on the attack gets challenged by Crumrine. Crumrine's able to win it. Brown able to track back. Tries to turn, plays it off Crumrine's legs. Out of bounds throw in for the Bulldogs. 5 subs checking in for the Bulldogs. Actually, 5 of them. We got, let's see. We got Falk back in. We got Jaden Walker in the game. Number 6, Hilsnowski back in the game. And Caesar Mota, number 20. Ball played into the middle. Boney plays it up in the air. Hilsnowski on the ball. Chipped in. Deflected by Stewart. Boney plays it wide. Crumrine chips it ahead for Brake. Brake plays it over the top. Lewis is there, settles it down with his chest. Chips it back into the middle. Brown tracks it down, plays it on the ground to Mota. Stewart comes in for the tackle. Reether plays it forward to Brake. Brake on the connection. Reether supports. Mota deflects away. Smathers gets a touch. Brown comes in, gets some space, plays it through to Walker. Can't connect, and Boney clears it away. Over to the middle of the field, headed back by Western. Lewis and Schumacher over there on the challenge. Lewis gets a touch down the line. Reether's coming on, but Lewis outraces him. Lewis on the ball, gets to the top of the box, cutting it across. These are from Mota back into Arns, and it has to be cleared away by Nato. Corner kick for the Bulldogs. All right, we lost our signal. Sorry, let me try to get it back real quick. All right, got the audio back. Sorry about that, guys. Lost our battery on the camera feed. Back into the middle of the field, Schumacher settles. Boren there to challenge. Gets it to Walker. Up to Caesar Moda. Played into the middle. Boney tries to clear it, but falls to Connor Perry. And he sends it out to the near side. Folk steals. Crumrine gets in there and pokes it away. Jackson wins the ball down the line. Lewis is there, plays it back on the ground for Folk. One touch to Lewis on the run. Crumrine clears it away, back into the middle of the field. Western gets the header into possession. Reeder chases back. Western plays the through ball, gets it to Walker. Ramos comes in and makes the tackle and gets the penalty kick awarded for the Bulldogs. Here at that on replay. Good ball on the ground here to connect to Walker. Connor Perry trying to make the save. Jaden Walker taking the penalty kick for the Bulldogs. Plays it to the left post and scores the goal. And the Bulldogs take the 1-0 lead. Restart a play by Schumacher. Back to Boney. Nito chips it over to Crumrine. Stolen by Hilkowski. Back in the middle to Walker. He gets a touch. The ball's still loose and falls in the goal. And just like that, the Bulldogs are up 2-0. All right, restart a play. Now 2-0 the score. Schumacher restarts to break. Break tries to play it through. Lewis steals. Stewart comes in, gets it to Break. Break plays it wide to Reether. Lewis chasing back. Reether cuts it back, finds Break. Back to Reether into possession. Drop back to Ramos. Rayner sends it over the top to the middle of the field. Western gets a touch. Schumacher comes in and possesses. Dislodged of the ball as Brown comes in. Schumacher's able to win it back to Stewart. Stewart looking for a pass. Drops it back to Lucas Nangle on the back line. Back into the middle for Ruben Break. Nangle challenges on Hilkowski. Throwing into the box. Boney heads it away. Falls to Lucas Hilsnowski. To Isaac Brown. Brown across the box. Ramos there deflects it down. Shot and goes wide of the goal by Travis Lewis. And it will be a goal kick under a minute to play here in the JV half. Orlando takes the goal kick into the middle of the field. Touchdown first by Chad. Brown plays it over the top. Engel heads it down into the middle. Stewart comes in a challenge. Cleared away by Boney. And that probably will do it. Back into play. And that's the final horn. So the final of the JV half, Bulldogs 2, Cougars 0. Thank you all for tuning into tonight's broadcast. We will send you out with a JV recap and hope to catch you Saturday. We will be at Logan Rogersville for the Greenwood Invitational, or the Greenwood Classic, actually. The Cougars will take on the Cassville Wildcats at 9 a.m. on Saturday. The winner of that game will go on to play the winner of the Greenwood Aurora game at 1 p.m. We will have the 9 a.m. game streamed on YouTube here. Yet to be determined if the 1 p.m. game will be streamed. But we'll try to get that done for you. And we will see you then.